The whispers at the edge of consciousness. A mystic persona's meditation on thought, shadow, and the choice to awaken. We are not troubled by the noise in the world, but by the whispers in our own minds that we never pause to hear. There's a quiet voice beneath your thinking. It's not the loud thought, not the angry response, not the polished narrative. It's the one that speaks before the thought, the soft tremor before the quake, the subtle ache behind the action. We call these whispers. I'm too much. I'm not enough. They're going to leave. I'll mess this up. I don't matter. They don't scream. They echo. And because they're so quiet, most people never hear them. But here's the trick. What you don't hear still commands you. You don't need to consciously believe the whisper. If you feel it, if it becomes your background music, then every word, every decision, every relationship dances to its rhythm. You fight without knowing what you're defending. You run, but you don't know from what. You freeze and call it overthinking. You fawn and call it being nice. But these are not conscious actions. They are limbic loops. You are not responding to reality. You are reacting to a whisper that no one else can hear. The limbic hijack, when shadow becomes the default. In the brain, this moment is well known. The amygdala, your limbic guardian, detects danger, whether real or imagined, and it moves faster than your reason, faster than your breath, faster than your truth. Suddenly, you are the marauder lashing out to maintain control, or the phantom vanishing into polite nothingness. You become the wanderer, floating through options to avoid choosing, or the trickster dancing around confrontation with riddles and masks, and you think, this is just who I am. But it isn't. It's who you became to survive a thought you never questioned. The whisper is not the problem, it's the repetition without witness. You see, there is nothing wrong with having a whisper. Everyone hears them. I'm scared. I don't know how to do this. What if I fail? That's not the issue. The issue is what happens when you pretend you don't hear it. The moment you reject the whisper, it deepens. It morphs. It begins to wear costumes. It puts on the voice of a shadow persona and walks into your life like an uninvited guest demanding to be fed. And if you don't pause, you feed it again. Shadow isn't evil, it's echo. In the mystic persona system, shadow doesn't mean you are bad. It means you've disconnected from the core persona that knows how to navigate the moment. You've forgotten the Herald's authenticity and become the shade, gossiping from the edges. You've lost the nomad's curiosity and become the hermit, afraid of connection. You've drowned the Wismage's clarity and become the Voidcaster, cold and withdrawn. You've burned out the Gladiator's strength and now lash out as the Marauder. But these shadows are not defects. They are the whispers ignored, the thoughts you didn't want to admit you believed. And they are calling not for punishment, but for presence. To hear the whisper is to reclaim the self. Imagine a whisper enters. No one really sees me. Most will brush it aside. Get busier, work harder, post something for validation. Say it's fine. But what if you paused? What if you turned to that whisper like an old friend and asked, who inside me is speaking right now? Suddenly, the phantom begins to fade. The Herald steps forward. You realize it's not that the world abandoned you. You abandoned your voice before the world had the chance to hear it. And now you return. You speak not to perform, but to be heard. Not to please, but to connect. This is the shift. From shadow to core. From reactivity to sovereignty. You are the space between the thought and the reaction. Alan Watts once mused that the self is like a cloud, always forming, dissolving, and reappearing in new shapes. You too are not the storm of emotion, but the sky it moves through. So when the whisper arises, pause. Let the breath lengthen. Let the thought be without becoming it. Say, this is the time wraith rising in me. Delay, hesitation. Fear masked as timing. The siren is here, wanting to dazzle instead of deal with the truth. My inner shade is whispering again. afraid of directness, so it chooses cleverness instead. And then, choose again. A practice for returning to persona. You don't need a spiritual retreat to begin this work. You don't need to fix yourself. You don't need to fight your shadow. You only need to recognize the whisper, and then ask 3 simple questions. What is this thought protecting me from? I'll mess it up equals fear of shame. They don't care equals fear of rejection. Which persona is reacting to this whisper? Shadow or core? Phantom or herald? Voidcaster or Wismage? Who would I rather have leading right now? Not in theory. In this exact conversation, this moment, this breath. Then, step into that persona. Not by pretending, by embodying. Surrender is not giving in, it's leaning into truth. The world tells you to dominate your mind, to replace every negative thought with a positive one. But mystic personas tell you this: don't replace the whisper, reverence it. Don't fear it, feel it. Don't silence it. Sit with it. Don't run from it or rout it, because beneath every whisper is the persona trying to return to you. It's not, I'm not enough. It's the Herald aching to say, see me as I am. It's not, I'm tired of this. It's the Gladiator whispering, let someone fight beside me for once. It's not, I always mess things up. It's the Wismage asking, what if I let myself be good enough this time? The whispers will never stop, but you can start listening. You will always hear them. What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I'm not ready? Good. Let them come, but don't let them lead. Let the nomad come forward and say, let's find out anyway. Let the Oracle Knight step in and whisper, I'm scared too, and I'll go first. Let the Sage laugh gently and ask, when has certainty ever been real? And so, you choose. Right now, you stand in the space between the whisper and the shadow. You can react, or you can reclaim. One keeps you cycling in fear. The other begins the sacred return to your truth, your presence, your persona. Because the moment you say, I hear the whisper. I see who's trying to take the wheel. And I choose differently now. You are no longer the passenger. You become the author, and the whole story shifts.
Find out your 4 core personas for free. Link to quiz is on the description. If this stirred something in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, share it with someone who's ready to wake up to their true self, and subscribe, because this is just the beginning of your transformation.